Hey everyone, we are back with another episode of our podcast. We're the Football Tailgaters, and we talk everything about the NFL, including your picks for bets and fantasy. And to introduce ourselves here, we have Yams, the Jets fan, Andy, the unbiased football fan, and myself, Aaron, the Cowboys fan, who the Cowboys had a bye week, so I was pretty relaxed, but somehow they still lost. The deadline went over. They did no moves. Really disappointing. Kind of upset about that. But let's just go over the topics real quick. What we're going to talk about today. Big news with the Colts head coach, Frank Reich, was fired. And Jeff Saturday, one of the best centers that the Colts have had, takes over as the interim head coach now. And then, talk about the biggest upset of the week, Jets winning over the Bills. And lastly, I guess, besides the Cowboys, talking about the Cowboys, there's talks that they're going to sign Odell Beckham. We don't know, but it's up in the air. And, if they do sign him, let's say they do sign him, are they going to be NFC favorites? And lastly, we'll go over the usual Week 10 games preview. But first, let's start with the breaking news of Colts head coach Frank Reich. He's been fired. Right now, the Colts have been clearly struggling with a roster that seemingly shouldn't be with what they have right now with their record. They are a struggling team. Jonathan Taylor has been struggling with injuries, and he hasn't been performing the way he has been this past season. Matt Ryan, he got benched, right? And we all expected him to lift up that team. Well, at least I did. The defense, it's so, whatever. There's just a lot going on with that team. So now Jeff Saturday takes over as interim head coach. What do you guys think about that, Yams and Andy?
Well, with the firing of Frank Reich, the Colts head coach, I think that there's dysfunction in a lot of teams, and the Colts are not away from it. So I believe that they haven't gone over the hump after they let go. Well, after Andrew Luck actually retired. Since then, they have had a mess of an organization. I know they tried to hire a good head coach with Frank Reich. It didn't work out. He did bring in Carson Wentz. That didn't work out. The owner wanted Carson Wentz out, so they pushed him out. Now they got Matt Ryan, thinking that he was going to help the team out, but it seems like it's still not working out. So they have a scapegoat, which is Frank Reich, and now they're going to be tanking for the next quarterback in the NFL draft.
Now, real quick, what's crazy to me is they're second place in the AFC South, and they're 3-5 with a tie. Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's what we kind of thought. Well, at least most of us thought how the NFC East was going to be. At least that's how I see it, right? Everybody was like, oh, NFC least, NFC, trash, whatever it is the East is. And then, no, it's the complete opposite. And here we are seeing the AFC South being the worst one, I think, by far, out of all the divisions.
Yeah, we had a prediction on the divisions, and it's not that a shocker for me that they're number 2. I had them going number 1. I'm shocked they're not number 1. Their team is a lot better on paper.
Oh yeah.
And just looking at it,
are they really good on paper?
Yeah, they have talent on their team. They definitely have talent on their team.
Name me some talent besides the running back, which a whole bunch of people on fantasy football are probably pissed off that they took him first overall, and he's not even producing. So besides Taylor, who else is a great weapon for them?
I think it's Michael Pittman is pretty good.
Michael Pittman. There's one on the defensive side. His name is Forrest or something with an F.
DeForest Buckner.
That was his name.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Stephon Gilmore, sorry.
Exactly. So I
think he's still pretty good.
There's talent on that team, man. And yeah, like you mentioned, Andy, it's the whole mess when Andrew Luck decided to retire. They haven't been able to get their quarterback. They went from Phillip Rivers to Carson Wentz to now Matt Ryan to, who is it, Sam Ehlinger?
Yeah, and I believe they had Brissett also for a bit as well.
That's
after
true.
Andrew Luck left.
That is true. So, I can't blame...
Oh, you know what? You know who actually helped them after Andrew Luck left? It was Phillip Rivers. Yeah.
Phillip Rivers, yeah.
But Phillip Rivers...
he decided to retire.
But he is a really good quarterback. I know that he had his struggles in Chargers, but in the beginning, when he was in his prime, he was taking him to the AFC Championship back to back. That team just shows how important a quarterback is. Of course, we all know that.
What's the name of the owner? Is Ray? What's the name of the owner of it's left my Jim
Irsay?
Irsay. I think he's just trying to burn it all. Let's just burn it all.
And let's just try again.
Let's just try it again. Because even the fact that he decided to go with Jeff Saturday, who is not one of the coaches on his staff, to name the coach in the November, that's just mind blowing. Like, why don't you choose someone within your family? As he said a lot in Hard Knocks, where he described the Colts business organization as a family, but yet you chose a non-family.
Does it matter if he's a consultant?
No, it doesn't matter to me. No, it's not a coach. It's not a coach within your organization in the team.
No. I was really, really surprised that they got Jeff Saturday. This is something that I've never seen before. He is an analyst right now. I like that. One of his top jobs in ESPN.
Yeah.
Like, he is an analyst, and that's his job throughout the week. He appears on NFL Live and Sunday Countdown or all those shows. So it's really strange to me that you just get somebody like that. I mean, that also frustrates a bunch of coordinators, probably the coordinators that are currently on the staff, saying, what the hell? And then also other coordinators from other teams that are just seeing these types of crazy moves from owners. So I'm pretty sure that, like Yams is saying, that the owner is affecting the team a lot. I know, Aaron, like Jerry Jones, you get frustrated with him. I think that Jim Irsay is affecting the team a lot.
He's blowing it up. He's just, let's just blow it up. Let's just try it again. And I'm just going to go with Jeff Saturday. And I won't be surprised if they name Jeff Saturday the full-time head coach next year.
We have to see how he does.
Yeah. Also with like the Commanders as well. Isn't that team on sale right now? On up for sale. That's kind of like another dysfunction going on there. That's
another dysfunction, right? But I don't know.
Would you say which one's bad? Which one's worse?
The Colts, in my opinion, right now.
You think
because,
the Colts?
Yeah, there's not a leader in the locker room. Matt Ryan's was the one that was supposed to take over and be that leader, and he's gone. And I feel that with the Commanders, they were kind of used to Heineke before Carson Wentz took over. So, and you can say Ron Rivera's still there, and I mean, he's questionable. He's probably not going to come back next year, but I don't think the team being on sale right now is really affecting them. They weren't really a team that was going to be good anyways. So
yeah, it really sucks. It sucks because I actually kind of like them as a team, and I thought they were going to be pretty successful. And I think it does show a little bit of talent especially on the defensive side as well. I was forgetting a lot of names, but Ngakwe is another one, right? I think he's pretty up there. I think he's a defensive end, if I'm not mistaken. I was trying to remember the names, but
the one defense, that just came back from injury too.
Was it Leonard?
No.
From the Chase
Colts?
Young.
Chase Young, yes.
Chase Young on the Commanders is coming back, right? I saw something about that, but I haven't kept fully track of it. Well, let's move on to your team, Yams, the Jets. How about them Jets?
What'd you think, Andy? You chose the Bills, and
I think he owes us an apology. I said it here, and I will say it again. He owes us an apology.
I think they surprised mostly the whole country. Yeah, nobody saw that coming. I did think that they could cover the spread, but I didn't think that they were going to win. I mean, honestly, the Bills are supposed to be the Super Bowl favorites here, and that's only not my opinion. That's a lot of people's opinion. You can say what you want. Is it a divisional game or anything? But they just showed how to even stop the Bills. They did a great job taking the wide receivers off. So they took off Stephon Diggs and Gabriel Davis, and they asked them to run the ball. And they're having a struggle to running the ball. That's why they traded for Nyheim Hines. But
in the front line as well, pressuring Josh Allen a lot.
For sure,
making
100%.
him do some really hurtful decisions, mistakes.
The thing with Josh Allen is that he can beat you with he's such a big guy, and he was able to make some moves to be able to score some games. If it wasn't for him, this game would have been a lot more sideways. Credit to the defense of the Jets. They did a really good job, and they had a really good game plan with not putting the game on Zach Wilson's shoulders. They continue with the run. I know Breece Hall is gone for the year, unfortunately, but they did a really good job with the run with Robinson and Michael Carter. Even Ty Johnson was there involved as well. No, my credit to the Jets. I eat my words.
Yeah, I'm so happy. I didn't. I
You didn't expect that either.
I expected that they would be close. I said they would be close.
Right.
I said the Packers got close with Buffalo, and I did not want to sell the Jets short. I did not expect them to. I mean, I didn't expect them to win. I'll be honest. I didn't expect them to win, but I did think they will keep it close.
Nobody
and
did.
And keep them close and keep them in the
Nobody
game. The defense is doing great. If you're able to rush to the quarterback, in which they did with Josh Allen with 4 on the front, I mean, our defense is pretty good. And I don't know, they might be one of the best defenses right now in the NFL. And credit to Zach Wilson, after coming back with a horrible game against the Patriots and just sticking to the game plan, running forward, taking care of the ball, sacking when take the sack when you're supposed to take the sack. It really helped the team. It really helped the team, and he made the key throws that they needed to do to keep the game going and keep the Jets from keeping that.
I think
win.
what I took out more from this, I got from this game, it came to realization for me that I think the Eagles might have it this year. I think if anything from what we can take from this game is that whoever the Eagles are going to face, because the NFC is really weak, right? It has a lot of holes, and we'll talk about the Cowboys later.
Well, Aaron, let me stop you there. You're saying the Eagles are the favorites, but didn't you see the Houston Texans against the Philadelphia Eagles? Did you see how much they struggled against the run? I mean, Pierce was running all over them. You get a team that can really attack them with the run and really contain.
Can the Bills run?
Who?
The Bills?
Can the Bills run?
No, the Bills is actually, that's something they haven't been able to figure out for years, is the running game. As you can see, that's why they traded for Naheem Hines from the Colts. I don't know when they'll get him going. I mean, it just happened. So I'm pretty sure next game we'll probably see a little bit more of the run game happening. But this is something that the Bills can't do. That's why Josh Allen is the one that's the number one rusher in that team.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that a diss?
So that's
No,
how the Jets were able to win.
Okay, so because I'm trying to, I legit can't find a real, because yes, they did struggle against the run, but I mean they're still 8-0. They still won that game. The Bills should have pulled what the Eagles did. The Bills. It's okay to struggle against the Jets because they're a really good team and they have good players. Houston isn't a horrible team, right? But I mean, the record shows that there's still a lot to work on.
Houston is a horrible team. Houston's a horrible team.
Yeah,
that running game says something else about that team.
No,
and I think
I say if it says more for the Eagles running defense, don't you think?
Oh, Dameon Pierce has been doing pretty good in his past games. He's been running for a lot of yards, and
that is true. But just the game plan that Eagles can't defend the run against just one player, Dameon Pierce.
They're very run heavy. They're stacking. They're putting meat on there, and they're just making it work. And sometimes it didn't work. Sometimes they did stop it. But look, it was good enough to stop them. And I think that's one of Houston's upsides of what they had. And that's why I thought, if anything, what the Eagles can lose to is the running game, right? But tell me who else here that can be a legit threat to the Eagles somewhere in the NFC playoffs to where they can't go past them, right?
It's the Cowboys.
Because you got the Cowboys are probably the best one, but the Cowboys will be the Cowboys, and they'll find their way to mess it up, in my opinion.
No.
You know something that can happen? I mean, that's a divisional game. Yeah, the Cowboys have shown that they can mess it up. They
lost against the Eagles.
They did, but it was a different quarterback.
Themselves.
It was a different type of game plan. And now it would be a completely different game plan with Dak Prescott as the quarterback. But, I mean, I'm just giving out some hope to Cowboys fans out there. But, if you look at the Eagles' schedule, who they played with, and of course this is the early in the season, they played the Lions. Goff is not a running quarterback. Vikings, Kirk Cousins not a running quarterback. Commanders, Carson Wentz wasn't a running quarterback. Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, you can semi maybe, but not as much. The Cardinals, that one actually is a key one that they actually won, and they only won by 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I mean, they had the Cowboys, Cooper Rush, and then they had Pickett, which, come on, and then they had the Texans, which they did a good job running the ball, and then of course the defense is going to get tired for the Texans because they can't score points. But I think that's how you beat the Eagles, with the running game. and the Cardinals did do a good job. Now, unfortunately, we're going to have the Eagles play the Commanders up next, and the Colts, then the Green Bay, then
They
the
got
Titans.
an easy schedule.
Yeah, the NFC,
It's the Bears. I would say even the
Bears.
Giants can give them a hard time with Saquon Barkley.
Exactly.
Saquon Barkley has been looking great. So it's legit.
Saints.
The last, what is it, like 5 games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the last 5 games because the Saints have Alvin Kamara, right?
Yeah.
And the Cowboys have the dynamic duo with Elliott and Pollard. And then Bears have Justin Fields and Montgomery and Khalil Herbert. And then Giants with even the Titans, the 6 games. So I guess this is really a challenge to see if they can pull a lot of these wins against these run-heavy teams. This is where we can actually see them pulling forward. But on the AFC end, it's kind of on the weaker side, and that's why I was saying if the Eagles can somehow pull this off, this is a really good moment to strike for them to go for a Super Bowl run.
I don't think so. I don't think the Eagles are gonna be able to get there.
They can get to the NFC Championship. I do believe that. I mean, if you look at how the NFC is right now, the NFC is. I don't know why I can't say that correctly.
NFC is.
If you can see how the NFC is right now, the Eagles are like at the top of their game against all the other teams that are involved here. But we're in November and December, so I'm pretty sure some of these other teams that are doing so are going to get up there and play a little bit better because it's getting too close to crunch time. We're in half of the season, and like I've been saying, the way to beat the Eagles, we've seen it before, is with the running game. The Houston Texans showed it on last Thursday night, and the Cardinals got pretty close to it. They only lost by 3. That's the way to beat the Eagles.
My problem with the Eagles is they decide not to score in the second half. They let the teams get close, and I think that one team that's explosive with explosive weapons and on the balanced team on the offense, like the Cowboys, with wide receivers and running backs, that's when they're going to start facing some problems. So if they face someone like the Cowboys, so let's say in the NFC East, if they make it to the playoffs, someone like the Vikings, I think that's when they're going to start hitting heads.
So now that we're kind of mentioning the Cowboys here and how they could possibly stop them, let's move on over to Odell Beckham having a chance to possibly sign with them. Does Odell Beckham mean that they could beat the Eagles?
No, not at all. It's not an offensive key that the Cowboys are missing. As a matter of fact, I think that'd be a wrong addition to have a injury-prone player on here because it might interfere with what's actually going on with the team right now. They're connecting, they're figuring things out, and I think that it's adding someone like Odell Beckham, who you are forced to give the ball, is going to put Dak again in that scenario. You have to feed to Odell Beckham.
I think Odell Beckham right now is a point of his career that I don't think he's going to be that type of a player to be like, hey, you need to throw me the ball. You need to involve me more into the game. I've heard like stories from other players that they say that Odell Beckham is actually a really good teammate. He actually elevates the wide receivers around him. I do agree with you that because of his injuries, I don't think he could be 100% based on his ACL. Usually I see players coming off of ACL being back to normal after 2 years. So this has only been 1 year. I don't see too much of a huge impact if Odell Beckham comes to the Cowboys, but I do say that there is a minimal impact, and whatever positive the Cowboys can have, why not?
Yeah.
What do you think, Cowboys fan?
I don't know.
I'm really thinking about it, and we kind of saw with the Rams that's kind of what was shown. What you just said, Andy, is he's not the star of the team anymore. He's kind of fits in. He tries to fit in as much as he can. And I think with CeeDee Lamb beside him and as well Michael Gallup, I think it'll be something similar because Amari Cooper he was very injury prone. By the way, having a really good year this year. But we could see something similar because he does have that ceiling of being a really good player when he's healthy, Odell Beckham. So we can see something similar going on here that they can maybe add of more of a dual threat in the running game and the passing game by adding Beckham, and it could be more of like something to worry about because I think Odell Beckham's not a bum or anything. He's still good. It's just his injuries are what sets him back. So as long as he's healthy, I think he can have a significant impact to any team. I'm not saying like game changer, but you'll notice the difference, obviously.
Yeah, I do think that Odell Beckham did help the Rams win that Super Bowl. He did some key catches that just was basically moving the chains. Unfortunately, he did get injured. Maybe even the game would have been like over sooner. I mean, I enjoyed the Super Bowl, yeah, but because of his injury, then they took a big weapon out of the Rams in the Super Bowl.
I don't think Cowboys already have someone that's supposed to be starting soon. James Washington, he's also recovering from an injury.
Well, let's compare who's better, Odell Beckham or James Washington.
We don't need to compare.
We
we already know the answer.
Then?
But is it necessary?
I mean, why not if it's not going to cost you that much and you just have more wide receiver depth? We have a Dak Prescott as quarterback now. Cooper Rush, he had a great connection with Noah Brown. Where has Noah Brown been? I think he was injured last week. I think he didn't play. But I don't see that big time connection with Dak and Noah Brown. So now Dak Prescott is back, and who's his connection? Can you name me who's his main connection?
For Dak?
I would guess. I would guess he likes to lean to a lot of his tight ends. So Dalton Schultz led in receiving this past game against the Bears with 6 receptions. Don't see the targets right now. And then CeeDee Lamb followed with 5 receptions, and then Michael Gallup. And so on.
I agree with you, Aaron. It's the tight end. So, but even if you ask people around, I don't think that they would just
the Chicago Bears.
I think that people wouldn't know exactly who his top connection is. So if you throw in Odell Beckham, maybe it helps the offense more. Before a few years ago, Amari Cooper was his main connection. Can we agree on that?
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
So I'm just saying that the offense just needs a little bit more of a boost in order to get to that level, and maybe Odell Beckham is the guy to do it.
So then we all agree. Oh, well, I don't agree. Do we think that Odell Beckham signing will take the Cowboys to the NFC favorites then?
I wouldn't say they would be favorites.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't be favorites, but it would help them obviously, and it could push them. It could be something that could be a turning point or be like the last. No, it's because that team is such a headache.
It's like any team that wants to get better. If you feel like you're ready to go and to go to that Super Bowl, you get more weapons. That's what Buffalo did. That's what the Rams did. That's what Tampa Bay did. So
it was so frustrating that they didn't do anything in this trade deadline. They were just quiet, super quiet, and it's annoying because Jerry Jones was like, he was basically saying keep your eye on for the trade deadline because we're going to do moves or whatever. And it's just a bunch of talk, and I don't believe anything that comes out of his mouth anymore. It's whatever.
If the Cowboys end up in the playoffs today, who do they play? Do we know?
I don't know. I think
the
there's
Vikings?
a picture that we saw.
Or is it the Eagles? They're 5th place.
Well, wouldn't the Eagles have the bye week?
True. So then it would be...
Yeah, the Eagles have the bye week. It would be the Falcons?
No, the Falcons are in the bubble. It would be in the bubble. But I think they would play the... No, you guys would have the bye. No.
What? No.
They're not number 1. Never mind. The Eagles are.
I think I can pull it up really quickly. It looks like...
Why can't they just give us a schedule instead of the playoff picture?
Would it be the Seahawks?
Yeah, can they just
I think it's the Seahawks. Yeah. But, if it's the Seahawks, I can see that the Cowboys do beat the Seahawks.
Buccaneers are 4-5. Vikings are 7-1. Seahawks are 6-3. 49ers 4-4. Giants 6-2. And Cowboys 6-2.
Why aren't the Giants in the playoff picture if they're 6-1? Oh yeah, they're number 6. Man, this is nuts. Well, let me just say something here. Just real quick with the Jets. I kind of want to make a bold prediction. I think the Jets go to the AFC Championship game.
That's it?
Yep.
You don't want to elaborate a little bit more?
No, why?
That's it? You just believe in...
I believe.
Okay.
I think you should believe too.
Well, there's no things it's because they're really great defense that can actually, I've compared them to the teams that are out there in the AFC.
I don't need to explain why. You've seen it with your own eyes, what's going on with the Jets.
Well, this is a podcast. You explain things here.
Okay, the defense, if they're able to rush and get to the best quarterback right now in the NFL, which is Josh Allen, the best team who is a Super Bowl favorite, they were able to get to him with a 4 front man. that means our defense for the Jets is unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
Yes. And I think we're going to start seeing Zach Wilson. You're going to see some growth in him, and you're going to see him win games for the Jets. So I think that the bold prediction for me is AFC Championship.
Well, they do play the Patriots again. So I think with Bill Belichick, he'll be giving those types of new defensive scenarios for the Jets again and change things up. So I think it's a great test for the Jets again to be able to beat them, to finally beat the Patriots, because it's been so many years to do so. And if they're that great that you're saying, then they should be able to beat the Patriots.
I don't think they beat the Patriots. I hope so.
So it shows.
I hope so.
if the playoff picture right now would be Jets against Titans, Cowboys against Buccaneers. That's how it would be.
See, and I can totally see the Buccaneers getting better throughout the season. I mean, I know they just won against the Rams, which doesn't say much because the Rams have been struggling a lot, but it's a team.
You were actually giving the edge to the Rams. I was too.
Yeah.
We were giving the edge to the Rams because the Buccaneers just...
Yeah, I agree.
Couldn't find their footing in those past games,
and they barely won. And the end of the game,
they barely won.
Yeah,
No, it's ugly. A 4-5 team right now is in the playoff right now, and it's in the playoff picture. A 4-5 team, and they're tied. Like I said, they're tied. Buccaneers and Falcons are tied. I think the only reason why Buccaneers have the edge is why is that? I really don't know why actually. Anyways, why don't we go over the Week 10? Now that the Cowboys are back from the bye, they go up against the Packers. I know that's going to be a game to watch. And
I don't know why.
Kind of advertising it a lot. They've been advertising it a lot.
Yeah. Be flexed.
But Aaron Rodgers is going to find a way to make the Cowboys struggle, and it's going to be a close game, I think. No. But why don't you Andy, take over and give us our games here, and we'll pick who's going to win.
Yeah, it sounds good. So for the Week 10, let's start off with the Seahawks against the Buccaneers. Who you guys got?
Oh, man, this is kind of tough because...
Buccaneers, I think because the momentum they're going to have with the Rams coming off that win. I don't know. And the only thing is that Seahawks defense might make them struggle again. I think it might be like a defensive game here of who has the better defense.
I don't know. The Seahawks have a good defense. They let anyone score. I do not like this matchup. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Hawks.
Yeah, Seahawks against the Buccaneers. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. They have been proving everybody wrong. I think I heard today that they are making Las Vegas lose a lot of money because they're not favorites in every matchup, and they've been winning in every single not every single game, but they have been winning a lot. So kudos to them. Pete Carroll's doing a tremendous job, and the Buccaneers have been struggling. And the Seahawks are just been going up. So I'm gonna pick the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's just the fact that Tom Brady's with the Buccaneers, and you just never know when the sleepy man decides to wake up. So.
And this game's taking place in Germany.
Yep.
In Munich at 8:30 a.m. Central Time.
That might affect a little bit more to the Seahawks because they have a long flight, and in Tampa they're already in the East Coast. The Seahawks have to travel all of the United States and all of the Atlantic Ocean. So yeah, they have a long trip.
Were they at home though in this past game against the Cardinals?
I believe so. No, they weren't.
So does that mean they go straight from Arizona to Munich? How would that go?
I don't think so, but maybe. I don't think so.
Okay.
All right. Next one, Lions against the Bears. Who you guys got?
Bears.
They're
on the train. Fielding his teams are connecting.
Yeah, Fields found his groove, and they're on a hot streak. So,
yeah.
Well, not on a hot streak, but he's feeling good about his game right now. And I think he's going to beat the Detroit Lions because the Detroit Lions just can't figure it out over there.
Even though the Lions just beat the Packers on.
Yeah.
The Packers are worthless, tough. You guys. Stop.
I don't know. It's just Aaron Rodgers. There's something about him that he's not what he used to be, but it's nervous betting against him.
Yeah.
No,
it's nerve-wracking.
Not anymore.
Sorry.
Lions versus Bears. I mean, Justin Fields has been doing really great, and he's been playing better each year. He's getting the groove. He's getting situated with his team and his offense. And Coach Eberflus, he's been doing really well as well. So, I mean, cool, good job, Chicago Bears. Keep it going, and I know that this year's probably not going to be your year, but it looks like they have some promising games or future for the Bears. Next game, we have the Buffalo Bills against the Minnesota Vikings. Who you guys got?
Well, it depends on Josh Allen's arm or elbow.
Yeah.
If he's good to go, then Buffalo Bills. But if he is injured, then I'm gonna go with the Vikings.
Yep, agreed.
You know, the Vikings, they're a team to
I don't know why
just dismiss them, but
they get dismissed, but no one talks about the 7-1 Vikings. Isn't that strange? Is it because Kirk Cousins is the quarterback?
Yeah.
Are they not
If you
feared
keep him away from
enough?
prime time, he's good.
True. Yeah. As long as you keep him away, he'll light it up for you. But it seems like he's the reason why people are not excited for this Viking team.
Because they've done it before,
Cousins.
over and over before, and
Only
they
to get eliminated.
And they just get eliminated, and it's not like a super famous team, so I think that does affect as well. And everybody just has Kirk Cousins in the back of their heads, like, no, he's just not gonna get there. But hey, motivation, Kirk Cousins
I don't know
get
why.
there. Nobody believes in you. Prove everybody wrong.
Yeah. So yeah. How's their defense? Does anybody know what's their run defense like?
Crickets.
No.
Crickets, right?
I don't think it's awful, but I don't think it's amazing. I think it's just there.
Man, if the Bills lose, do you know what this means for the Jets?
Do
Do you know what this means?
Everything circles back to the Jets.
Well, duh. It means they're number one.
Yeah, because they did beat Miami.
And not the Chiefs?
No, number one in the AFC East.
Oh, yeah.
Take it one step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Saints versus the Steelers. Who you guys got?
The Saints. The Steelers are
the Saints, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, Steelers have so much trouble. They're like in rebuild mode, sort of, and they're still working out with their quarterback, who actually
threw his team under the
bus. Yeah, exactly. So the Saints, they have a little groove on with Andy Dalton, and they have Kamara, and Olave. He's been doing great. So who knows?
Wait, what happened? Threw them under the bus?
Yeah,
What do
he
you
said
mean?
basically that his teammates are not doing enough studying.
No, he said that everybody needs to play better or something like that, right?
He has a 2 touchdown, 8 interception ratio.
For me, it was just a little weird because he's a rookie. And right off the bat, you start. Oh, you know what it was? I remember now. He threw his offensive coordinator under the bus because they say that we've been doing the same thing again and again and again, and it's not working, and we need some changes to be done. That's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't his team.
Okay.
Next up is the Colts against the Raiders. The new Jeff Saturday head coach against the Raiders.
Ooh. I don't like that game at all if I'm betting on it.
Yeah, I would just pick the Raiders because they do have some weapons. They started well, the Raiders, actually. In the first half, they were giving it to Devontae Adams. He was scoring. And then in the second half, they just got shut out. But in this game, I'm still going to pick the Raiders because the Colts, they just fired their head coach. They are struggling like offensively and defensively. It could be a toss-up. Now they're going to have Jeff Saturday in there, so we'll see.
Aren't they last in like points per game or something like that? Like in scoring?
Colts.
It's really bad. Yeah, the Colts.
Yeah, I probably will lean towards Las Vegas.
The Raiders. Yeah.
Raiders, but last week I leaned towards them too because they need this win. They need the win. And they were up 17-0 and they let the Jaguars go up 27 unanswered points.
I think personally I would fire
Josh McDaniels like right now.
if he loses against an interim head coach that wasn't even fully like on the staff. You know?
Yep, for sure.
I think he needs to go if he loses against the Colts. Like it's really bad.
Yeah, he's just playing awful. He's just a coordinator and that's it. And he had Tom Brady as his quarterback, so I don't even know there.
I bet you Bill Belichick's excited to get his coordinator back next year.
Well, who knows? Next game, we got the Dallas Cowboys against the Green Bay Packers. Who you guys got?
If you tell me you're nervous, Aaron, please. I'm going to just flip my computer.
The Cowboys find a way to just do Cowboys things. I'm sorry. I can't trust them, but I'm picking the Cowboys. And I picked the Cowboys. They're going to go out there and do Cowboys things and lose.
Yeah.
They lost Dobbs.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers lost Dobbs as a wide receiver, and a team that's one that Rodgers is connecting with most. They have also Christian Watson, who's on concussion protocol. I'm sure he'll clear up by the time they play the Cowboys. And Aaron Jones is on a walking boot, which I think his X-rays came out negative, which is good news for your trade, Andy.
Mm-hmm.
And But let's just come on. Like, Cowboys are gonna win. It's an easy game. The more angrier that
depending on how healthy Aaron Jones is, it's gonna have to run through Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, and that's it. That's what they kind of did. What was it last game? 2 games ago, like the past 2 games.
The Cowboys defense will take care of y'all.
I don't think it's that simple.
They were struggling.
Run.
Yes, they were struggling against the
who?
run. It's not that simple.
Well, that's the reason why they got Harrison from the Raiders, because they are struggle against the defensive.
Which team they struggled against the run? Sorry, I can't recall.
Well, the very first one is Saquon Barkley. That guy ran over him completely.
They struggled against him.
The Eagles also. The Sanders made a few
ran
touchdowns.
circles around them.
Exactly. Who else? Hey.
They were kind of struggling with the Bears with containing Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
A running quarterback.
I feel more confident about the defensive running game, like against the run with the Jets than with the Cowboys at some points.
What's crazy?
Because the front line in the Jets is just insanely good. It's crazy.
Yeah, number 1 defense. But hey, not to throw any diss towards the Cowboys. The Cowboys are negative 5.5. That's crazy.
Well, I guess
you think it'd be more.
Yeah.
You think it should be what, a touchdown or what?
A touchdown.
No, I think if anything, I think that's pretty safe. It makes sense. 5.
People think that Aaron Rodgers is gonna come and just.
Well, look what Chicago did. I mean, I know that Cowboys at the end just took it off, and that's with a defensive touchdown. But they were pretty close for a lot of the game. Chicago Bears, they got into the game pretty close. And I mean, Green Bay,
it shouldn't have been that close.
It shouldn't have been that close. And Green Bay, they figure things out. I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers. You do not dismiss Aaron Rodgers as just as you don't dismiss Tom Brady,
even though they've lost 5 of them.
Yeah. It's insane.
Okay, we'll move on. But you dismissed Tom Brady earlier. But go ahead.
I didn't dismiss him.
Yeah, you did. You went with the Seahawks.
I did, yeah, because it's the Seahawks. They have proven everybody completely wrong and to believe in the Seahawks because they're doing such a great job. And Pete Carroll over there is just doing a great job. But anyways, yeah, the Cowboys against the Packers, I'm just going to pick the Cowboys, and it's because of their defense. I believe in the Cowboys defense. Dan Quinn, again, continues to perform well. And Micah Parsons is just carrying that defense a lot. He's a big percentage of that defense. If he goes down, which I'm knocking wood that he doesn't, the Cowboys are in big trouble. But yeah, the Cowboys against the Packers for sure. 49ers against the Chargers. Who you guys got?
49ers.
49ers with that explosive Christian McCaffrey.
After what we saw that last game, oh my gosh.
Right, and Chargers just played really against and almost lost. Oh, Falcons.
Atlanta.
And they barely won.
20-17.
Like, yeah, they barely won by a field goal.
That coach is embarrassing.
Yeah, he's gonna get
with that kind of talent that he has. They shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, 49ers.
They're 5-3, or what? Yeah, 5-3, right? Yeah, they're 5-3, which is like not horrible, but I think they should be better.
They're not.
There's some games.
Yeah, they're not.
They lost
horrible.
Against the Seahawks.
Well, Seahawks is a proven team now.
No,
Aaron,
it's just the way that they play. That's the frustrating part. Their game plan. It seems that they're not well coached. You can see that they're not well coached. And I'll give a credit to the Jets that they looked like they're well coached. So that's the problems that the Chargers had. That because of their players, they're good players, they're winning some games, but they're not well coached. The 49ers are well coached, and now with Christian McCaffrey, they're going to be on to another level. It could even be the NFC Championship, the 49ers against the Eagles, actually.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, last game. Speaking of which, the Eagles versus the Commanders. Who you guys got?
Commanders. That was not funny. Eagles.
Yeah.
That one's
it's easy. Yeah, Eagles. It's just Eagles against Commanders. Eagles have this game. They're just going to be running all over the Commanders. Hopefully the Commanders can make it a pretty good game because it is a Monday Night Football, and I do want to see an entertaining game. I just don't want to see a blowout. But just how the Eagles have been playing, I want to pick the Eagles.
Yeah, I don't like the spread here, 11.5 or 11 for the Commanders. I think it'll be closer than a lot of people think. But yes, I think Eagles come out with the win.
Yep, I agree with all that. I think it's until what is it, in like 3-4 more weeks until we start seeing if the Eagles could stop a lot of the teams with heavier running game, and that'll be definitely something to watch. And I hope I just don't like Eagles. I don't like the fan base that much. They're a good team though. I like their team.
They're a good team, but
that's
their schedule they've been facing so far has been so easy. So,
Pretty easy.
yeah, they have Commanders, Colts. Like, those are just two givens.
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can turn this around?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they had so much struggle, and they just beat the Rams, which are having their struggles. Even though I did pick the Rams, but I just thought the Buccaneers had a lot more struggles, but they just barely won. So how can they turn this around?
Well, don't they have some injury players that they need to get back? I don't know if they're out for the
I mean,
season.
they have Evans, they have LaFournette, they have Godwin, they have some
Yeah,
players. The offensive line is just bad. I think it's the coaching staff that's the problem.
The offensive line is bad, like you said. Also, they need to stop relying on so much on Leonard Fournette. Let's get the rookie in. Let's get Ricard White in there, and let's try to run the ball more with a younger running back, not just lean on Fournette all the time.
Maybe they should have traded for offensive help, offensive line help, and another running back.
But I think they will turn it around. I don't know they'll make it far in the playoffs, but they'll obviously remain number one in their division.
They have Russell Gage in the injury report, as well as Cameron Brate, a guard, and then Antoine Winfield, which is pretty significant for them.
Oh, yeah.
I think. Let me. I don't know, because Tom Brady has his own struggles, but that offensive line, I think, is really the core problem from the whole offense. I think that's the real issue.
That is the real issue.
So if they can figure it out, they can turn it around. So yeah, I would say the offensive line, if they can fix it.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, I can't count Tom Brady out. There's always something about him that he figures it out. Even if he has a bust up O-line, he'll take it. He'll have the ball out in half a second out of his hand. So he'll make it happen. He'll make his own adjustments.
Wouldn't that be a crazy story that he's just losing a lot of these games, like such a great player as he is, and then all of a sudden just flips a switch and starts winning again, despite like his divorce, all the issues that he's going through personally, his team losing, he's the leader, and then he goes all the way to win it. Boom, movie.
He has too many of those already.
Well, it's because you need the sequels for the other movies.
I don't think he'll win it. I'm sorry. No, there's too much competition, and he said there was a lot of bad football being played. Well, those teams that are playing bad football, they're cleaning up their act, and Buccaneers are still a little tad behind.
Well, that's all I have.
Okay, yeah, I think that's going to be it for this episode of Football Tailgaters. We appreciate anyone that's made it to the end. And again, we hope to see you guys interacting with us on our social media, comment on our videos that we post, our little snippets from our podcast. We have our YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, Football Tailgaters. Yeah, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
Thank you.